join me in welcoming our guest tonight, author Paul Martin. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I hope you don't mind, but I have a copy of your book right here with me.
I should hope so.
Now, my producers would be staring me up if I didn't at least have the courtesy of doing a bit of research.
Indeed.
So, just from a glance at a few pages, I can see that your book involves a lot of tragedy.
Well, yes, of course. Naturally, the story reflects many of the calamities and drama that a lot of us face during our lifetimes, but a lot of it is also about pushing past that pain. It evokes what some of us might do in that situation, and in particular, the human chemistry involved.
I see. Now, last month Deadly Silence became one of the best-selling novels of 1974. Tell me, how long did it take you to write?
I started it at my home in London. Then I moved to Paris for a few months before moving it back home. So in the end, about 6 months.
Oh? We were informed earlier that it only took you 3 months.
Well, you must have been misinformed.
Too
I
right
clearly
you
need
were.
to be more thorough in my research.
God, look at my chin. I warned them not to sit me at that angle. So much for being a guest if they're the ones that get all the say.
Try telling that to my producers.
And goodbye, isolation and quiet days
What's your
in.
mindset when coming up with the...
I'm coming! Christ, I forgot how persistent the press can be. Or, God forbid, it's fans. Look, you can't keep disturbing... Oh. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm PC Sergeant Briggs, and this is my colleague, Constable Clark. Would you happen to be Mr. Paul Martin?
Yes, sir. Can I help you with something, officers?
May we come in, please?
Yes, of course. Please, come in.
Have we called you at a bad time, Mr. Martin?
Oh, the Scotch. No, not at all. I was just celebrating.
Celebrating, sir?
My debut novel. It's just recently become a bestseller in Britain so far this year.
Well, in that case, my congratulations to you, Mr. Martin. That's quite an achievement.
Thank you. It's called Deadly Silence. Do you know it?
I can't say that I do.
I do. Yes. My wife is in the middle of reading it.
Fantastic. She is enjoying it, I hope.
Oh, yes. Very much so.
Perhaps we can discuss it later, when we're not on duty.
Of course. I'm sorry, Sarge.
Yes, apologies. I do tend to overexcite myself sometimes.
Now, Mr. Martin, it is to our understanding that you are associated with a man named Mr. Hinstatt.
You mean Simon Hinstatt?
That's right.
Well, yes. We studied English literature together at the University of Hull. We've been good friends ever since.
Then it's my solemn duty to inform you that unfortunately last night, around 10:40 p.m, Mr. Hinstatt was found dead.
What? But how?
Well, after an early inquiry, he appears to have committed suicide. We're here to ask you if you can perhaps shed some light as to why he would do such a thing.
No. I mean, the last time we spoke in person, he was quite depressed. You see, he too dreamt of becoming a successful author, and he was desperately trying to write a novel of his own. I encouraged him, of course. We encouraged each other. But I could see for some time that he was indeed becoming decomposed. He would always ask me for guidance, and I would always give him as much advice as I possibly could. But after my book was complete and began gaining some attention from publishers, while he barely made up a few pages, I think that's when he really started to break down. I never thought it would come to this, though. If only I'd been there.
You mustn't blame yourself, Mr. Martin. Sometimes these things just happen.
I know I probably shouldn't ask, but how did he...
He was found in his bathtub with his wrists cut open.
Jesus.
Yes. Well, that answers most of our inquiries. Thank you for your time, Mr. Martin. We'll see ourselves out.
Thank you, officers.
Best of luck in your next book, sir.
Thanks again. Well, here's to you, old friend. Oh. Ah!
Paul, darling, are you okay?
Fine. Go back to sleep.
Was it another nightmare about your friend? I think maybe you should go and see a doctor.
No.
But he died over 2 years ago.
I know how long it was, Susan.
I just think if you're still having them, then maybe a doctor can help.
With what? What can they possibly do?
I don't know. Perhaps they have medicine to treat it with.
They're bad dreams, Susan. Not a cough. You can't cure them with bloody medicine.
I know, Paul. It's just with it being this frequent.
I'm just under a lot of stress. In case you weren't aware, I have to get another book finished.
I know.
Then stop going on about my nightmares. They'll pass. Over time.
Okay, I don't mean to stress you out.
I'm just under a lot of pressure. From both my agent and my publishers. They're all smiles and handshakes when you're successful, but then they need more from you. Like snakes slowly squeezing the life out of you.
Well, what about that cottage you saw in the paper? Did you sign the lease for the rent yet?
I sent it off yesterday. The sooner I get a response, the better. It's perfectly secluded, and not even the publishers know the landline. I shouldn't be disturbed.
What about that suggestion your agent made about hiring a typist? Did you make a decision?
Yes.
And
I'm inclined to agree. I don't like the idea of someone else having a hand in my work, but this is a long and complex process. Having someone there to type my words to the page would at least give me the space to pace and dictate out loud.
How far through are you?
16 chapters.
How many pages is that?
Oh, just stop asking stupid questions, will you?
Fine. We don't have to talk. But let me ease some of that pressure you're holding on to.
That's right. I deserve this. I make people happy, and I'll do it again. Very soon. Chapter 18. To harass. To worry. To bleed. To awaken. Shit. What is it to worry? To harass? What is it to bleed but to be awoken from a decaying heart? Oh, for God's sake! Excuse me, will you please do that later?
Sorry.
Turn that off!
Sorry. Say that again.
I need total silence in order to work. So will you please keep the bloody noise down?
Only doing my job, sir.
Well, do something quieter, would you? When I'm not working.
Pardon me, Mr. Martin, but I thought I could hear shouting.
Mrs. Aston, I am edging ever so close to a deadline and all these distractions are not helping.
What are you referring to, sir?
That bloody gardener. Every time I'm close to perfecting a sentence, I am bombarded with his intolerable noise.
Oh, well, it is his job, sir.
And this is mine, Mrs. Aston. I need every moment, no, every second I could possibly get. That is why I'm paying for this place. Can you at least try to understand that?
But of course, Mr. Martin. In fact, I shall see to it personally that our gardener George knows exactly how important silence is for you.
Good. Thank you.
Well, it's my job to make sure you're always satisfied with our accommodation after all. Is there anything else I can do for you?
More coffee, if you would.
Right away. Oh, I almost forgot. There is a phone call for you a few minutes ago. The typist you requested will arrive at the train station in half an hour.
I see. Did you tell her to meet me at the cafe across the road?
Of course.
Good. I'll leave soon. You should tell the gardener that if he has to do the lawn, he better complete it while I'm gone. I don't want any more disturbances once I'm back.
Very good, Mr. Martin.
To importune. To pursue. To persecute. Decay. Crumble. Rot. Die.
Yes? What can I get you, sweetheart?
Black coffee and one of those almond croissants, please.
Coming right up. If you want to take a seat, it'll be right over.
Thank you. She said half an hour. What's keeping her?
We're still on for drinks later at Tony's, right?
Of course.
Hey, hang about. Look what we have here.
Fucking look at that. Oh, you don't see 'em like that around here, do ya?
Too right.
All right there, darling. How about a tour of the village?
No, thank you.
Oh, come on, love. Why don't you hop on the back of my bike and I can show you all the pretty parts of the village, including the private parts. Snotty bitch.
Ah, leave it, Cal. She's obviously one of them city types. Doesn't know a good shag when she sees it.
Yeah.
Mr. Martin?
You would be my typist, I presume. You're late.
Linda Burrows. It's nice to finally meet you, and yes, I'm sorry for being late. There was a log on the track, so the train had to stop while they removed it.
A log? You'd think that something that weighs up to 18,000 tons could push something as minimal and insignificant as a tree out of the way with ease. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Black coffee and the almond croissant, love.
Can I get you anything?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'll have a cup of tea and a fruit scone, please.
Coming right up.
Now, as a rule, I don't like having people around. With the exception of very few, I don't trust them. We have a lot of hard work to get done, so all I ask for is complete loyalty and professionalism.
That's perfectly fine with me.
Haven't I met you somewhere before?
No, I don't believe so.
Fine. I take it you are used to a strict writer's routine?
Of course.
Tell me about your experience. How long have you been a typist?
About 7 years now.
I see.
Yes, I've done a lot of freelance work in journalism, as well as ghostwriting for several psychologists and a cookery expert.
A cookery expert?
Yes, she ran a weekly column in Home Kitchen magazine.
But you've never worked on a fictional story before?
No.
Jesus Christ!
A cup of tea and a fruit scone?
Is this a regular occurrence around here?
Hey, it's unpleasant. But you know what these youths are like.
Youths? They look old enough to have kids of their own.
Go on your way. If they come back again, just give me a shout. It wouldn't be the first time I've had to give some yobs a clip around the ear.
Thank you.
Friends of yours?
No.
Fine. Let's just finish up here and get back. The sooner we start, the better.
So, where exactly is this place we're staying at?
It's a house I've rented, up on Straw Hill. No other residents for about half a mile. Plenty of space to think.
And did you say it's just you there?
Whenever I can help it.
Isn't there a housekeeper?
And a gardener, though hopefully we won't be hearing from him much. Why all these questions?
Sorry, just mere curiosity.
Let me give you a rundown of my writer's routine.
Very well.
Every morning, when I wake up at 8, I go straight in the shower, before throwing on some freshly washed clothes. By 8:30, I take breakfast in the dining room. Just some toast is all I require. I fill 1 cup of coffee for breakfast, then I have another when I move to the study at about 9. I'd like for you to bring me that one. There we work on and off until about 1, after which we break for lunch. Again, something light. At 2:30, we continue working until about 5, after which we stop for the day. Supper can consist of some fish or steak, which I always take with a glass of Tio Pepe. After that, we relax. I like to take a well-chilled single malt whiskey in the evening before finally going to bed. It's quite a simple routine, but it works.
That all sounds quite fine.
We have 2 weeks to reach the deadline. I need at least 5 more chapters, plus redrafting a few if needed. Not too much pressure, I hope.
Nothing I'm not already used to.
Good. I'm just going to pop into this shop for a newspaper. You don't need anything from there, do you?
Oh, no thank you.
I'll just be a minute.
Very good.
Well, Vic. Look who it is.
Twice in one day. What are the chances?
Oh, it's 'cause we're destined, isn't it? Hello again, love. How are you liking the place so far?
I don't think my colleague would like you leaning on his car.
Hey, have you seen this car, Cal? He must be loaded.
Yeah. What's your fella do for a living then?
He's not my fella, and that's none of your business.
Oh, I do like them with a bit of fire, Vic, don't you?
Course. They always like it the roughest.
Excuse me. I'd like to get into my car if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Or what?
I'm not interested in playing your silly games. And if you don't mind, I've got somewhere to be.
Oh, he's got somewhere to be, Cal.
Oh, you're right. Go ahead, mate. Right, keep hold of him, Vic.
Go on!
Get off me! Oh!
Oh! Oh!
Oh! Oh, fuck.
From now on, maybe you'll show a bit more respect to your elders.
That fucking prick!
So, do you normally fight that dirty?
You saw them, didn't you? They were going for me. God knows why they were after me.
After you? Oh, really, Mr. Martin? I doubt they were nothing more than a pair of overgrown children.
But why would they attack me, of all people? They must have known who I was.
Oh, that's a little paranoid, don't you think?
Paranoid? What's so paranoid about it? Ever since my book success, I've had to deal with so many people trying to be detrimental to my work. I can barely step outside my own house anymore without being hassled.
I honestly couldn't imagine how that feels.
No. How could you possibly know?
I'm all finished here now, Mr. Martin.
Good. I don't want any loud noises for the rest of the day. Is that understood?
Perfectly, sir. Good morning, miss.
Good morning.
Can I help you with that?
No, thank you. I can manage. Where will I be sleeping, Mr. Martin?
Upstairs at the end of the corridor. Don't be too long, please.
Oh, I thought I heard an unfamiliar voice. You'll be the secretary, I take it.
That's right. Are you the housekeeper, Mrs.
Aston. And yes, I'll be managing the house while you and Mr. Martin are working.
Oh, I see. And do you live here too?
No, but I ride here on my bike every day from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. You'll have plenty of time in the evenings to do whatever.
I'm sorry. Whatever? I don't understand.
Just whatever it is you get up to when I'm not around. As the saying goes, home is where the heart is. And I've certainly put a lot of that into this house for many years. I just ask that you try to respect that.
Very well. Please excuse me.
Do you need me to?
No, thank you. I can handle it.
Your room is upstairs.
At the end of the corridor, I know.
I laid the room myself this morning. I'm sure you'll find it's to your liking.
Thank you.
They turned in at the end of the drive, and Angus stopped the car quietly. Stop. New paragraph. Their kiss was neither tender nor affectionate. Point. It was carnal. Point. It was lustful. Point. Wet and greedy. Point. Lingering, passionate, but with warmth. Semicolon. Possessive, but with calm. Quotes. I love you. End quotes. Angus's voice soft in the interior.
I'm sorry. Angus's voice soft in what?
Angus's voice soft in the interior.
Right.
Full stop. Ice crystals forming on the windscreen in the rusted sky. Point. An ironical setting after all there had been. Point. End paragraph. Good. Let's take a break for a little while.
I'm just going to go and unpack the rest of my things. Oh, and if it's okay with you, I'd like to go for a walk.
Where?
Not far. I just want to get familiar with the area around the house, since we'll be here for a while.
Very well. Don't be any longer than half an hour, though. We still have much to do.
Very well.
Afternoon, miss.
Good afternoon. Please, call me Linda.
Very well. Miss Linda is treating you well, I hope.
I'm sorry?
Our resident, Mr. Martin. Not being too strict, is he?
Oh, no. It's fine. He's stern, but I've handled a lot less refined gentlemen in my time.
Well, I'm sure he's very lucky to have you waiting with him.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to take a stroll over to that wheat field.
Sure thing. Don't go too far, though. You don't want the farmer yelling at you.
I won't. Thank you.
Be seeing you.
Have a nice walk, Linda. Meanwhile, let's see how you're settling into your room.
He really wasn't lying. This place truly is out of the way of any distractions. Yes, I think this is going to work out nicely. But for now, a quick lie down in the sun before getting back to work.
You kept the room rather neat and tidy, Linda. Let's see what you brought with you. Some very nice dresses. This one even looks almost see-through. What are you keeping in the drawers, I wonder? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? So you label your undergarments by day? Already washed. No matter. What have you left in your suitcase, I wonder?
Come on, let me see it.
Keep it down, will ya? We barely made it past the farmer unnoticed. Don't want to get caught with it.
No one's around, I made sure.
Well, then make extra sure. You can't be too careful.
See? All clear? Now come on, show me.
All right.
Well, come on, unwrap it.
Keep your bleeding hair on, will ya?
Oh, nice. What's his name?
The double-barrel shotgun, I think.
No! I mean, like, its proper name. You know, like AMT Automag or the Smith & Wesson.
Oh, you've been watching the Sweeney too much. I don't know what it's called. All I know is if my dad comes home and sees it's gone, I'll be a dead man.
We'll be fine, Vic. You don't get back till 5, right? So, we'll be done with this prick and back well before then.
You definitely sure this is where he lives?
Yeah. Jen Kennedy told me her nan said some writer had moved into that house on Straw Hill. He's the only big shot writer looking type we've seen around here lately, so it has to be him, doesn't it?
Seems likely. Did you bring the masks, by the way?
Yeah, of course.
Well, let me see them then. Fucking straw bags!
What? So? I cut holes in them.
Thought you were getting Halloween masks.
Of course not! It's August! Where am I supposed to get them from?
Oh, fine. Suppose these will do the trick. Let's just get this over with.
Oh, get down!
What is it?
I think I just saw someone lying near the end of the field.
Why the hell would they be doing that?
I don't bleeding know, do I? Look, let's put on the masks now and get a better look.
A book on Latin? A waste of reading on a dead language, if you ask me. There must be something here that makes you more interesting.
All right, load that gun just in case.
Okay.
Well, look who it is.
Bloody hell. That bird's again.
What did I tell you, Vic? We're obviously meant for each other, ain't we?
We'll have to wait for her to go back to the house, won't we?
Nah. I've got a better idea. Come on. Hello there, darling. No. Please don't move now. My friend here is very trigger happy. Wouldn't want him to get nervous now, would we?
So, what can I do for you boys?
Well, would this give you any ideas?
Yes, I suppose it does.
Good. Vic, keep an eye on her while I give me old boy a head start, if you get me.
Sure. You gonna be much longer, Cal?
Oh, shut up!
Oh, this is getting really uncomfortable to listen to.
Oh, fuck off, will ya? Just gonna make it take longer.
Come on, I want to turn.
Oh, it's no use. My balls are still throbbing from earlier when that twat kicked me.
Oh, I thought I recognised your names. Oh, and FYI, probably not a good idea to use them in these situations. Defeats the whole purpose of the masks, you see.
Fuck. I feel like a bleeding twat now.
Oh, it's nothing to worry about. I'm not planning on telling anyone. You have my word.
Really?
Oh, of course. I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge you before. I have to keep up a professional manner in front of people. But that doesn't matter now. We're all alone here.
Yeah. So, is the writer your fella then?
Let's finish here and I'll tell you all about it.
Oh, well, you don't have to tell me twice, love. This should only take a minute.
You know, Victor, you needn't wait.
What?
Well, we do seem to have plenty of time. There's no need for you to keep waiting for your friend, is there?
Well,
So why don't you place that gun down, and you show me your other one?
Well, I suppose.
So, you didn't even bring an object you please yourself with. Just as I feared, Linda. There's nothing even remotely interesting about you. Bloody farmers.
Vic! Fuck! What is it?
Please fix your trousers if you would, Carl.
Oh God, please don't.
Oh, you've changed your tone. Don't you find me attractive anymore?
Yes, yes, of course.
Oh, man, it's so easy to manipulate once you let your guard down.
You're the one who came to this town with your straight hair and your short skirt and your makeup and you...
Oh, so now it's my fault because I'm a woman.
No, it's just... We don't get many like you around here. I just wanted...
That if you got it out, I'd be head over heels for you. Sorry, Carl, but from what I've seen, I wasn't missing much.
Please.
Oh dear, you've made me rather late. Mr. Martin's not going to be pleased. I'd better start heading back.
She felt soft under the sheets. Warm. Gone was the formal exterior that had presented itself so fearfully this last week. Stop. Here in his arms was a sensitive being. Stop. Passionate and demanding. Point. And then Angus's tongue started its slow exploration, darting here, arousing there. Playing on Anna like a virtuosa with the strut of Ares or a sideway, a great wonderful catharsis of lust. Point. Anna's legs slowly. Point. At each caress urgently moving. Point. Demanding. Point. She was wet with anticipation.
And then? Mr. Martin?
Just be quiet and let me think. Let's just stop there for now.
Already?
I need time to think.
Why don't you go out and sit on the terrace and I'll bring us some coffee?
Very well. That's not a bad idea. But make it tea. I don't need to be getting an anxiety attack right now.
That's fine. You go on ahead and wait. I'll be out there with you in just a few minutes. Now, where can I find those tea bags?
Looking for something?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Please, let me clean this up.
Oh no, please, allow me. I'm sorry for startling you.
It's okay.
Were you looking for something?
The tea bags.
Second shelf on the top right corner. But you needn't bother. I can make it.
Oh, no. That won't be necessary.
Nonsense. You go back out and I'll bring it to you. Oh, and furthermore, if there's anything that you want from the kitchen, you need only ask.
You know, Mrs. Aston, myself and Mr. Martin are in an important state of mind where we need complete isolation in order to truly complete this book to the best of our abilities.
Right.
And I truly feel that the most helpful thing that you can do for us is to take some time off, just until we complete the first draft.
What are you trying to say, Miss Burrows? You don't want me around?
Oh, only until we've finished. You needn't worry about the house. I can take care of everything whilst you're gone.
With respect, Miss Burrows, you are in no position to decline my services. Mr. Martin is the sole benefactor of my employment, as well as yours.
I am well aware of that, Mrs. Aston. I was only trying to suggest you could take a break.
Well, please don't. The ad in the Times was perfectly clear. I am to look after the house while appealing to the tenants' needs. Now, please go back out and I'll bring you your tea.
Yes.
Is everything okay?
Fine. Where's the tea?
Here you are, Mr. Martin. A nice pot of tea.
Thank you, Mrs. Aston.
Will there be anything else?
No, this will do nicely.
Very good. If you need anything else, just give me a shout.
I will. Thank you. Maybe if I change the word ostentatious.
She insisted on making it herself.
Right.
Are you sure everything's okay? I couldn't help but notice you were mumbling to yourself.
Just thinking out loud.
About the book?
What else?
Well, there's no need to worry about it for the moment. 4 sugars in yours, didn't you say?
Yes. And you're wrong.
About the sugar?
No. You're in the same position I am. There's a lot to worry about.
Such as?
Once we're done here, you'll find another client to scribe for, I imagine.
Most likely, yes.
Well, if I don't meet this deadline, there's going to cause complications with how much I'm paid for it, plus whether or not they want another novel.
But you're only on your 2nd book.
It makes no difference. Do you know how much Deadly Silence made me?
No.
£500,000. And I believe that if I can create just one more novel, another masterpiece, well, who knows what that'll make me. But of course, as is the way of the world, the more successful you get, the more they want the next one, the more they're willing to pay, the more desperate and persistent these idiots become.
But surely it's worth it if you can make people happy.
Perhaps. You know, Harper Lee only had to write just one book to set her for life? Ever since the release of To Kill a Mockingbird, she's had next to no tribulations weighing her down ever since.
So you strive to be like her, then?
Not necessarily. I just want to prove that I can do better.
That's quite a stretch.
Well, we all need something to strive towards, even if the goal appears somewhat impossible.
I completely understand, Mr. Martin. In fact, please know that I'm going to do everything I can to see it through.
What do you mean?
Your goal. The outcome might not affect me very much, but I wouldn't be doing my job right at all if I didn't make an equal effort in making everything I touch a success. So please don't be afraid to confide in me. I know you said that other people aren't your favourite things in the world, but please talk to me about what problems you're facing and I can help.
You really are as generous as you are beautiful, aren't you?
Is that inconvenient for you?
No, not in the slightest. In fact, it's rather eased my mind.
I'm glad to hear that, Mr. Martin.
Call me Paul. We've been working together for 3 days now. I think you've earned the right to be less formal with me.
Oh, okay. Paul, your tea's getting cold.
No, never mind that. We have a story to complete after all.
Yes, of course. But before we get into that, I was wondering if I could make just one suggestion about something I feel would be of great help.
Of course. What would that be?
Well, it's about Mrs. Aston.
Afternoon, Mrs. Ashton. Where are you off to?
I've just been sacked.
You're joking. Whatever for?
It seems that Mr. Martin believes he's better off without me being around.
What made him suddenly decide that?
Oh, it was that secretary girl. She made the same suggestion to me just a couple of hours ago. I stood my ground, of course, but she obviously told him the same thing and managed to convince him.
Are you sure it was her?
Oh, she wouldn't even look me in the eye while he dismissed me. That said no.
I see. Well, don't let it get you down, Mrs. Aston. I'm sure she was just thinking about what best for the tenant.
Perhaps. There's just something about her I don't trust. I just can't put my finger on what.
Are you sure you're not just holding a grudge?
Certainly not. It's just a gut feeling that I have. And if I've learned anything over the last 40 years working here, it's to always trust my gut.
I see. What are you going to do now, then?
I honestly don't think I would be able to go a week without attending this place. It's practically a part of me. I'm going to come back in a few days. The flowers in the extension will still need seeing to, and I highly doubt that she will water them.
Are you sure you should do that? We don't want them to make a formal complaint.
It's not like they use the extension anyway. I'm positive I'll be able to be in and out through the back while they're working. Do you think you can keep an eye out for me?
Sure. But what am I looking out for exactly?
Anything out of the ordinary, especially with her.
And if I do?
Then contact me. I'll figure out the rest.
If you say so.
I do. Anyway, I should leave before she convinces him to press charges.
Right. Well, I'll see you again soon then.
Yes, in 3 days, I would imagine.
I'll be seeing you then.
See you soon.
The rather quaint cafe was neither new nor was it run down. Point. It was vintage. Stop. Its wooden structured interior was smoothly varnished. Point. It put Angus in mind to a throwback of a coffee house he once visited in Italy. Stop. Angus ordered them both coffee while Anna took up a table at the nearby window. Point. The soft aroma from the many brands of coffee beans complemented the comforting atmosphere. Semicolon. He could not have asked for a more divine haven to bring his new love. Point. New paragraph. As he strolled carefully with the 2 coffees in his hands, Angus couldn't help but notice how vibrant and picturesque Anna looked by the window. Comma. The auburn lighting adding to her radiant posture. Point. If there happened to be an artist with even half a mind sitting close by, they would most undoubtedly beg her to let them paint her portrait of this very scene. Full stop. Why don't we stop there for today?
Are you sure?
Yes. I need some time to think about their dialogue before we continue.
Very well then.
We did good work today, Linda. You should be very pleased.
Of course. I should tidy up these other reference books before I forget. Ah, Deadly Silence. This is your first book, isn't it?
The name on the cover does give it away, doesn't it?
£500,000.
That's right.
Quite a morbid title for a romance novel, isn't it?
The publishers wanted a more catchier title. Draw them in with the promise of death, they said. I didn't have much choice in the matter, being my first and all.
Dedicated to Simon Hinstadt. Who's that?
An old friend.
I see. Is he still around?
No.
Right. I'm sorry to hear that.
Why don't you go and get dinner started?
Of course.
I only got this far thanks to you, Simon. I promise you, it won't be in vain. You know, I can't remember the last time I felt this content.
Oh, really?
Indeed. I had so much stress ruining my ability to work the other day that I couldn't even think straight. But now that we've completed 2.5 more chapters, I finally feel more relaxed.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
I think we may even finish the book before the end of next week.
Do you really think so?
Without a doubt. Do you think otherwise?
Does that include the redrafting?
I suppose it would.
Then let's not count our winnings until then.
You could try being a bit more implorable about it.
Sorry, I'm just being pragmatic. It comes with the job.
Well, let's not think about it right this moment. Let's enjoy our drinks. I think this may be the first time I've gotten a good look at this place. It really does feel like I'm in my own space.
Are you a poet now as well?
No. I studied it at school, of course, but I've always found it to be a rather mediocre at best.
What about art?
Art?
Yes. Does art not influence your work?
Not really. I'll attend the occasional gallery every now and then, but it doesn't excite me the same way it does most of the other eccentric aesthetes that visit.
I'm curious to know, what does influence your writing, if you don't mind me asking?
Travel, and television soap operas mostly.
I see. Where have you travelled to?
Well, for my first novel, I stayed in Paris for a while, and most recently with this book, I wrote part of it in New York. then moved it to Venice, then my home in London, and finally here.
Which places were the most inspiring for you?
I'd say mostly Italy, and here.
Here, as in the cottage?
Indeed. The romantic and ever-changing atmosphere of Venice in contribution to the freedom to think out loud here on Straw Hill has been the biggest advantage for me. You play a hand in that too, of course.
Oh? Thank you.
Yes, your enthusiasm has certainly helped me get back into a rather enthusiastic mood.
Thank you, Paul. That's very good to hear.
You know, I believe it's even been suggested that the book may be up for the 1976 Pulitzer Prize if it's as good as I pitched it.
Is that a fact?
Yes. You must certainly be pleased. You could be working alongside the next Vladimir Nabokov.
That really is enthusiastic.
Naturally. There's nothing wrong with thinking about the big picture. By the way, how are you managing things without Mrs. Aston around? Not struggling to balance work in the house, are you?
I'm fine. She's only been gone a couple of days.
I know. I just wouldn't want you to make any mistakes due to overworking. We can't afford any mistakes.
Believe me, Paul, the last thing I'd ever let myself do during this job is to make a single error.
Very good. Here's to perfection.
To perfection.
Honestly, that girl couldn't dust a cabinet to save her life. As I thought, these flowers haven't been watered since I was last here. Well, we'll soon see to that.
Mrs. Aston?
Oh,
What are you doing here?
shame on you sneaking in on an old lady like that.
I'm not the one sneaking around, though, am I? I ask again, what are you doing here? Mr. Martin gave you specific instructions that we weren't to be disturbed.
Well, I'm not, am I? I'm just here to water the plants.
That is not necessary. Now will you just please...
Not necessary. Look at these petals. You're supposed to water these every morning after breakfast.
Then I promise you that I'll see to it from now on. Now, can you please leave before Mr. Martin comes down?
Comes down? But it's already past 10. What's he still doing in bed?
Well, he had rather a lot to drink last night, so I thought I'd let him sleep it off.
You let him get drunk? He's not supposed to have any more than he needs to.
Well, I felt that he deserved a day's rest. Now please don't make me ask you to leave again.
Not until I've watered these flowers.
I've already told you that I'll attend to them now. Please.
I've met your type before, you know.
My type?
You flick your hair and flutter your eyelashes, and suddenly you've got everyone wrapped around your little finger. Makes some people a lot easier to control, doesn't it?
With respect, Mrs. Aston, you don't know anything about what I'm like.
I know enough. And once Mr. Martin wakes up in the state he's in, I'm sure I'll easily be able to convince him that he needs me back in the house. You'll see.
Mrs. Aston? I am sorry about this, Mrs. Aston. I tried to give you an easy way out of this, but you just kept on pushing. And I can't afford anyone getting in the way. So, do you still feel like you know me? I doubt it. For what it's worth, I'll try to remember to water the plants for you. Looks like I've now got even more cleaning to do. How very tiresome.
That smells quite sublime.
Yes, I noticed that Mrs. Aston had bought some trout before she left, so I decided to make trout à la crème.
Speaking of which, I do hope Mrs. Aston's not too upset about me asking her to leave. She did seem rather bitter towards the suggestion.
You did what you had to do. We can't afford any distractions, remember? You said it yourself.
Yes, I know. Perhaps I grew accustomed to her presence.
But didn't you tell me that you don't like other people?
I said I didn't trust them, but that there were exceptions.
Those who are useful, you mean?
In some cases, yes. Some are also good company.
I see. And have I become good company?
If you weren't, I wouldn't be dining with you. This is rather good. You never said you were a natural in the kitchen as well.
I've worked with a cookery expert, remember?
Oh, yes. It is always nice to have a woman around with a sharp focus and an eye for cooking as well as being sufficient enough with a typewriter.
Thank you, Paul. Please, eat up. I found a tub of coconut sorbet in the freezer that we can have after.
Excellent. It'll go superbly with a nice glass of dark rum.
But you already have a glass of burgundy right there.
Yes. So?
Do you really want a repeat of this morning?
It won't be like that.
And why's that?
Because I won't be finishing the entire bottle this time.
You mean bottles?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, nothing.
If you have something to say, then say it.
Last night, you drank a whole bottle of scotch and drank nearly half of another. The only reason you didn't finish it is because you passed out.
That does explain the blackout.
And so I was left to drag you up to your room and to clean up the mess that you made on the stairs.
Perhaps I did drink too much, but I assure you I will not be making a repeat of that.
Are you sure? You're already on your second glass tonight.
You know, I believe I hired you to be my typist, not to comment on my drinking habits.
I'm only saying it out of concern.
Concern for what? Me or you?
You and the book. We made good progress yesterday, Paul, but we can still fall behind if we slack off too much.
Slack off? You're starting to sound like a school teacher.
Is that a surprise? You are acting like a child.
How dare you? Who do you think you are? Are you forgetting that I'm the one who hired you?
You hired me to be your personal secretary and typist. That entitles me to make sure that you're following the standard procedure that you yourself set out.
You don't have to explain your job description to me. I know why I hired you, but it was not to be lectured. You just let me worry about how I spend my free time.
But I'm worried about it too, Paul. I don't just type whatever you tell me to and get a paycheck. I want to make sure the writer is 100% about everything that they want to say. I've been there many times with my other clients.
I'm nothing like your other clients.
You are, though.
What, a cookery expert and a few shrinks? I think their methods might have rubbed off on you a bit.
You're the one who wanted professionalism, Paul.
Yes, professionalism, not a psychologist. This is fiction I'm writing, remember?
Paul, with respect, you're being very irrational.
And there you go again, acting like I'm under the clock. I'm going into town tomorrow morning. This place is starting to feel a little suffocating to me. You're welcome to come too, if you wish.
No, thank you, Paul. There's still some cleaning I have to do.
Very well. And it's Mr. Martin to you.
Yes, Mr. Martin. Excuse me.
Oh, hello there, miss.
Oh, you're not too busy, are you?
No, not really. I just got to finish laying down this trench. Do you need anything?
Yes, I was just wondering if you could help me with some heavy lifting. I'd ask Mr. Martin, but he's gone into town for a while. Plus, I'm sure he'd tell me to ask you anyway.
That's true enough, of course. I'll be happy to. What do you need lifting?
Oh, just a few heavy bin bags I need to move into a tip. I keep forgetting to throw them away, and now they've piled up.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate this.
Anything I can do to be helpful? Where are they?
One's just behind the shed. You may want to use the wheelbarrow to move it.
Right. Well, let's have a look then. Just behind here, did you say?
Yes, I've left the wheelbarrow just here.
Good. Let me just take a look first. Blimey. This is heavy. What exactly did you and Mr. Mine throw away? Oh my God! Mrs. Ashton?
Now, this is an awful shame.
What have you done to her?
Yes, it was a pity, I know. But she was just too stubborn for her own good.
What? Why did you do this?
If I had time to explain, I would. But right now, I need you to get a move on and carry the bodies to that patch of trees near the other side of the god.
Bodies? Who else?
Just a couple of hooligans sticking their noses in where they weren't wanted. That seems to be happening a lot for a place that's supposed to be quiet.
But why?
No more talking. Please, just get a move on, or I will have to shoot.
Okay. I'm so sorry about this, Mrs. Ashton. Is that the last one?
Yes.
So, what now?
I take it there's a spade around here somewhere?
Yeah.
Fetch it. We need to bury them.
Oh, God.
Please, would you just stop grovelling? It's not helping either of us. Just hurry up and get the spade. What now? Guess.
It's done. You can let me go now.
Why? So that you can go and tell everyone.
I won't. I swear.
I'm sorry, but I just can't take that risk. I've come too far for it all to be ruined now.
No. Please. Please!
I really am sorry. It was never supposed to be like this. I just can't afford to lose. I better get you all buried. Paul will be home any minute now.
Anna's garden was covered with flowers of almost every colour. Point. This once delicate and withered rose had blossomed into a bouquet of fresh new confidence with no sign of fatigue. Point. Angus took a moment to take in the scenery. Comma. The weather contributing to every petal and blade of grass to the fullest extent. Stop. New paragraph. They made their way off the pantry and onto the pathway that spread before the middle of the grass. Point. It wasn't long before Anna gently laced her fingers into Angus's grip. Comma. Then, without any hesitation, they slowly looked into each other's eyes and leaned forward. End of chapter. That's a good place to stop for lunch now, I think.
Very good, Mr. Martin.
You've been rather quiet today, Linda.
Have I?
You're still upset about yesterday, aren't you?
Not at all, Mr. Martin.
Come now. I know how you women can hold a grudge. I upset you, didn't I?
It doesn't matter what I think, Mr. Martin. You are the writer. I am just a secretary. Nothing more.
Come on, Linda. Don't be like that. It doesn't suit you. Why don't I make it up to you?
Oh?
Yes. How about after you cook dinner later, I set up the table, light a few candles, and open up a fresh bottle of Burgundy?
Are you sure that's appropriate for someone working under you?
Well, How about tonight we forget that we work together and just lose ourselves in each other?
It sounds like you're suggesting a rather romantic evening, sir.
Perhaps I am. So, what do you say?
Mr. Martin, what am I to you?
I'm sorry?
Am I a friend, a lover, or just your typist?
Why are you asking this?
I just want to establish what kind of relationship you want from me.
Well, why not all the above?
Maybe I can't be all of the above. Perhaps I can only be one.
I don't understand.
No, I thought not.
Forget it then. I do have other ways of relieving tension. Hello, Susan? Yes. I was just wondering if you'd like to come down to the cottage for a few days. I feel the need for some company. Yes, yours in particular. It's fine. You won't be in the way as long as you don't disturb me while I'm working. Good. Get the 12 o'clock train tomorrow and you'll be picked up at the station at around 1. See you tomorrow then. No. On second thought, you'll be the one to pick her up from the station. You are the secretary, after all.
Yes, Mr. Martin. Excuse me. Hello? Would you happen to be Susan?
That's Miss Peters, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, I do apologise.
Where is Paul?
He asked me to come and collect you from the station while he works.
I see. Well?
Yes?
Are you going to just stand there all day, or are you going to take my bags?
Oh, of course. I am sorry, Miss Peters.
Susan, a pleasant journey, I hope.
It was fine. But it's good to see you at last, Paul.
Come on in. I had the bed lined with fresh sheets this morning.
Oh, how thoughtful.
I'll take these bags in then, I suppose.
What is it you're cooking?
I decided to make a stew this evening.
Meat?
Diced beef, yes.
Well, that won't do.
Oh, why ever not?
I happen to be a vegetarian.
Oh, I am sorry. Paul never mentioned it.
You could have at least asked.
I know. I do apologise. I'll make you something else right away.
So now I have to wait even longer to eat.
I could cut you up some bread to have in the meantime.
No, thank you. Just make me a tofu stir-fry, please.
I'm afraid we don't have any tofu, but I could make you a stir-fry with just vegetables.
I suppose that'll have to do. If I wait for dinner any longer, I'll just fade away.
I'll start on it right away.
Good. Oh, and when you're done, bring them out to the table on the terrace.
The two of you want to eat alone together, I take it.
Well, that's hardly any of your business now, is it?
Of course, miss. I'll bring the food out right away.
I'm going out to grab a newspaper. Be sure you're ready to continue the book as soon as I get back.
Very good, Mr. Martin.
Miss Burrows, I need these bed sheets changed over.
Be right with you, Miss Peters.
Right this second, please.
Today's the day. Do you mind if I read that paper once you're done with it?
Where's Susan?
She said she was going to take a bath and then have some rest.
Rest? She's had all night to rest. Why would she need more?
That's just what she told me. Come along now. We have a book to finish.
In a minute. I have to collect my thoughts.
There's no need for that. I've already outlined the final few pages for you.
What? Why would you do that?
Because we're nearly finished. I told you. Soon we can just focus on the redrafting.
I'm not in the right mindset at the moment.
Well then, allow me to help. Page 435. The airport, comma, sweaty with the scent of 1,000,000 people all going their separate ways.
The sweaty smell of many nations.
The heat of their bodies.
Warmth of their bodies.
As the plane sunk from an orange sky.
Rusted.
Orange.
Their love.
Their hate.
Saying goodbye for the final time.
No. Standing. Saying nothing.
No. Waving goodbye.
Try something different. We've seen these endings before. It won't work.
Try.
It won't work.
I said try it.
And I said it won't work. No more forever. Point. Finished. Stop. Abandoned. And finally complete. Full stop. The end. First draft. Finished.
Finished by you? What gives you any right to scrutinize my work?
All I did was put what I know you would have wanted to change later on. Saves us spending longer on touching it up.
That doesn't make it any better. Don't ever undermine me like that ever again.
As you wish, Mr. Martin. Where are you going?
I'm going to wake Susan. I won't have her sleeping all day. It's not her pleasure she's here for. Susan! Susan, you've been asleep long enough. Come on, I won't have you. Oh, Christ! What the fuck?
Is everything okay, Mr. Martin? Oh, that's rather unfortunate.
Unfortunate? There's nothing left of her, just...
Her pretty little head on your now blood-soaked sheets. Yes, I can see that, and I think you'll find her body right there on the other side of the bed.
Holy Christ! What, don't just stand there, call someone!
Oh, I don't think they'll be here in time to save you.
What? Why are you holding that knife?
Come now. That should be obvious, Mr. Martin. I'm going to kill you.
You did this? But why?
Why? Well, because you are a fraud, Mr. Martin. A fraud. F-R-A-U-D. Full stop. End of the paragraph.
I don't understand.
Really? You can't think of any reason why I would go through all of this trouble to make you suffer. Well, here's a bigger clue. Whilst my maiden name is indeed Burrows, the name I go by now is Hinstatt. Mrs. Linda Hinstatt. Ah, yes. I see that jolted your memory. How much was it you made off your first book? £500,000, right? Yes, you made £500,000 off of that work, and you never even wrote it. Not one single word. And I should know, because it was written by my husband, Simon.
Linda, let me explain.
Oh, please, allow me. You, being the so-called best friend that you were, offered to drop it into the publisher's office for him, and before you got there, you replaced the front page with your own name. You even had the nerve to dedicate it to him, as if to rub it in his face even further.
That's not what I did it for!
And then, when the book's successful opening weekend transpired, he just couldn't believe it. Oh, he tried to contact you, of course, not out of spite or jealousy necessarily, but simply to ask you why. Why, after all the years of hardships and dedication, had you thrown away your friendship just like that? Oh, he wouldn't get an answer, of course, because you completely refused to talk to him. After that, he just couldn't take it anymore.
I swear I didn't.
And that brings us to now. Now it's time for you to face judgment. Oh, it can take a while. Perhaps years. But in the end, karma always catches up to us.
Ah!
Oh, running off so soon, Paul. You're only prolonging the inevitable. You know, I should reword my answer to the question you asked in the cafe. We have indeed met once before. It was at a conference party 5 years ago. Simon introduced me, but you barely paid me any mind. I'm sure you probably thought I was just some common tart clinging to his success like your little girlfriend, Susan. And if you had actually attended his funeral, perhaps you would have remembered me better. Do you really think I wouldn't have locked the doors? Please don't insult my intelligence. And there's no use moving to the back door either.
Linda, I swear Simon was my friend. I never wanted to hurt him. I mean it. Ever since the day I heard about his death, I've felt nothing but guilt. I've had nightmares.
You've had nightmares? Oh, that's very rich, Paul.
I'm telling you the truth.
It really doesn't matter anymore, Paul. I honestly could not care less.
Please.
Aren't you wondering why I didn't just tell the police about you after I found Simon's body?
Why?
Who'd have believed me? Oh, there was no way of proving anything. He never kept notes of his writings. He never needed to. That's just how intelligent he was. You know, I came to one of your book signings last year. I wanted to finally confront you myself. I almost threw up in my mouth seeing how excited all those oblivious fans were to get your autograph on my husband's work. I even brought a knife with me, ready to kill you right there in front of everyone.
And why didn't you?
What good would it have done me? I'd be in prison and you'd be seen as some kind of martyr. No, that would never be satisfying enough. I knew I had to bide my time very carefully. Ah, leaving out of the window. Oh, how very clever of you, Paul. You won't be running away with a wound like that anytime soon. Where are you going to go, Paul? There's no one around for half an hour, remember?
She cut right into my leg with that knife. Still, could have been worse. God. Oh, fuck, it hurts. I have to get away from here.
Stop right there, Paul.
Oh, Christ!
That's right. Now don't move an inch or I'll shoot your legs off first.
Where did you get a gun?
Those nice boys you beat up were kind enough to leave it with me after I took care of them.
How many more people?
I only did what was necessary. Mrs. Aston got too nosy and that poor gardener just saw too much.
Jesus Christ.
I couldn't afford any slip-ups. I spent far too long planning this moment. Who do you think convinced your agent to hire a typist? It took me a long while to prepare, forcing myself to act the part of a sweet and innocent professional so that I could finally meet you without expressing bitter hatred. And now, I no longer have to hold anything back.
Please, don't.
Just shut up, Paul. No amount of pleading can ever make up for everything you've taken from me. Now, it's finally my turn to take something from you.
What do you mean, take from me?
Why else do you think I've waited all this time to kill you?
My book.
Yes! Well done! Now that it's finished, I just need to add my own personal touches and I can sell it as my own work. The grieving widow who finished her husband's book.
Your husband?
Simon deserves to have his name in the stars. What could be a more poetic way of achieving that? Oh, that's right. You don't care much for poetry, do you?
But you'll never get away with it.
Won't I? Oh, officer. It's horrible. Mr. Martin went went crazy when he couldn't finish his book. And then he killed all those people, including his mistress. He would have killed me had I not shot him in self-defence. See? You killed them, and then I killed you to protect myself.
You're insane!
I am what you made, Paul. Do you really think anyone would be the same after discovering the love of their life in a bath of their own blood? All of it extending from the ambitions of another's ego and selfishness? Oh, a lot of people might have their own way of coping. This is mine. Being here, right now, pining for your guts. Shit!
See? Your long-awaited plan failed. I'll tell the police everything that you did, and I'll still have my book.
Oh, are you sure about that?
What are you talking about? You're at my feet now. You don't have the upper hand anymore.
Are you okay, Paul? You're looking rather light-headed.
What? Have you poisoned me?
Oh, don't be so melodramatic. Haven't you seen your leg?
Yes. You stabbed it. So what?
Do you think it should be bleeding that much?
Well, you went in deep.
Yes, and in doing so, I appear to have nicked your femoral artery.
What?
Oh, you don't know much about the human body, do you, Paul? Can't imagine you have much time left before you bleed to death.
So is this what you had planned all along?
Oh no. No, this was purely accidental. It's funny how these things work out in our favour, isn't it? Oh, leaving so soon. I bet my life you won't even make it to the war. Goodbye and good luck, Mr. Martin.
Lying. She's just lying. Just trying to get under your skin because you bested her. Yes. I have to get back now. I have to finish the book. I'm so out of breath. Must be because I was running away. Yes, that'll be it. I'll just rest here for a moment. Just for a moment, mind. I'm so close. So close to making it. Making it mine.
Stop getting so giddy, Sally.
Sorry. I can't help it. I mean, she's right there. She's actually going to sign my copy of her book.
Yeah, I get that. So, what's so amazing about this novel, anyway?
It's just such a loving tale. Plus, it just means so much more when you realise her husband wrote part of it before he died.
Let me have a look at it.
Okay, but hurry up. Where next? God, I really hope she continues to write more in his memory.
Time will tell. Dedicated to Paul Martin?
Sorry?
Well, it's just here in small writing under her husband's memorial. Who do you think that is?
Probably just a friend who helped out somehow. Ooh, our turn.
Oh.
Hi, so nice to meet you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Who am I making this out to?
Me, Sally Hayden.
No problem.
I hope you don't mind me saying this, Mrs. Himstadt, but I was very sad to hear about your husband. And also, I really hope you will continue to write stories in his name.
Thank you, Si. That means a lot. Here you go. May its very pages bring you the same joy it brought me to finish it.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.